50 million casualties, 10 million dead. World War I was by far the most catastrophic war humanity has ever seen. For perspective, the entire population of countries like France and Britain was about 40 million, and the war just took so much. These once mighty first-class empires, colonizing across the world, wreaking havoc on primitive countries, had a taste of their own medicine, and it was absolutely traumatizing. The most shell-shocked country? The loser, Germany. The German people could not believe this. Germany zipped past Britain to be the world's second biggest economy and the rightful dominator of Europe. They 1v3'd the biggest empires in the world in the beginning of the war, and they were winning. What the fuck even happened? They were winning, goddammit! Germany had the strongest military in the world. What happened? Cognitive dissonance, the symptom of a brutal mental gutting when you get slapped in the face with a reality that goes directly against your core beliefs. The German people collectively started to descend into madness. There had to be something wrong here. Germany couldn't fall like this. Germany had to be the best in the world. Germany had to be the strongest in the world, so this never happens ever again. World War I unleashed unprecedented destruction on every single country involved, regardless of the outcome. Someone had to pay for this tragedy, goddammit! The winners forced the losers to sign a deal so enslaving that the defeated countries couldn't even dream of starting a war for generations. Germany, of course, was on the receiving end of this Treaty of Versailles. Germany was on the hook for a ridiculous reparations bill that was twice the GDP of the entire country. Germany's military was capped at 100,000 men, forbidden from making tanks, battleships, or fighter jets, and all its overseas colonies were seized to be split among the victors. France, in particular, still burning with furious, obsessive vengeance from the war, insisted on the complete disarming of the Rhineland region, confiscation of the Alsace-Lorraine, and even the independence of Poland. France wanted to permanently cripple Germany from ever being a functioning country. And that's pretty much what happened. Germany was gutted from top to bottom, with hyperinflation making its currency worth less than the paper it was printed on. When Germany defaulted on a reparations payment, France and Belgium forcibly rolled their tanks through the Ruhr Industrial Center and occupied it, just to really spit in Germany's face. Shit like that sure as hell wasn't helping Germany repay their debts any faster. Yeah, the German Empire did start the war, but the fundamental reason for World War I was way too complicated to just pin it all on the fall guy. From the perspective of the German people, they were being wrongfully framed as the root of all evil by those bullshit victorious countries. As Germany started to spiral into volatile cyberpsychosis, the victors realized that they might have poked the bear a bit too much and backed off. The absurd reparations of 132 billion marks were slowly reduced to more realistic amounts, and most importantly, America infused a bunch of money to rebuild the deteriorating German economy. Everyone was good. What could possibly go wrong? The Great Depression. Yeah. In 1929, America was forced to withdraw all its German investments to deal with the economic inferno wrecking things at home. The German economy, now just barely seeing the first shy rays of hope, was kicked straight back to hell. The German government went to shit, thousands starved to death, and there's just so much anger in Germany. Nobody respected the spineless government that couldn't stand up for its people. No, the German people started to wish for strong leaders that might just be crazy enough to fuck shit up. Europe as a whole was going insane at this time because of the snowballing, seemingly endless consequences of the war. In Russia, the entire royal family was murdered, and radical communists took control of the government to start the Soviet Union. In Italy, vigilante thugs known as the Black Shirts marched straight into Rome to start the rule of Mussolini. This new type of political leader would harness the anger of his population, tell them that there's someone to blame for all their problems, and radicalize the frenzied people into going for a simple, final solution. Totalitarian and fascist governments were mainstream now, and we're talking about the winners of World War I. Did you really expect Germany to stay down, grovel for forgiveness, and keep paying its reparations like a good boy? You have to understand, Germany was a country that skyrocketed because of its military strength. The German people knew exactly how strong their nationalism could be once they unified the scattered Germanic tribes as one mighty army. Hell, their society was made up of seasoned veterans of World War I, and they couldn't help but wonder, maybe we should just shoot this problem dead, like we've been doing for the past 200 years. This is how the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party, was born. The Nazis argued that Germany did nothing wrong, that the German people were the absolute best, and a new world order must be established. This radical right fascist party, with quite the disturbing rhetoric, was growing exponentially like a cancer from Bavaria. The Nazis became a mainstream political party in 1923 during the Beer Hall Putsch, a coup led by the far right that temporarily overran the Bavarian local government. The riot itself was extinguished within a day, but it ignited a hysterical fire in the hearts of every angry German. The leader of this riot, some insane Nazi party member from Austria, the charlatan was arrested for treason, and he spewed nationalistic bullshit propaganda at his trial. He peddled this bullshit so well, in fact, that even the judge reduced his sentence. This clown was a relatable fellow, a working-class World War I veteran that was awarded the Iron Cross for his valor. The guy doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, is a vegetarian, and he loves animals. His name was Adolf Hitler. The German people started to really listen to what this man had to say, slowly internalizing his talking points. Hitler was released on parole after serving 13 months of his 5-year sentence, and nothing could stop him from making his epic entrance on the political stage. Hitler rose to stardom with that coup business, but he quickly realized that he didn't have to bother overthrowing the government. No, the people wanted him in power. Hitler started saying all sorts of shit, some true and some false, and the public only wanted more of him regardless. The Nazi Party put nationalism above all, striving for a 100% pure population of Germans, for Germans, and by Germans. And who should the noble Germans blame for their troubles? You could probably see where this is going. Nazis swelled in size under Hitler's leadership. Nazi stormtroopers and youth groups terrorized the political establishment and forced their way in to every corner of the government. The few people who managed to hold on to their sanity until now, those who realized that this whole country was going insane, were forced to censor themselves, or else. The Great Depression of 1929 and the resulting economic disaster eviscerated the German people's trust in their government. Voters gave the Nazi Party 107 seats in parliament in 1930, making it the biggest minority party. In 1932, the Nazis were fully in charge of parliament with 196 seats. The Nazi Party was more than mainstream now. It was the democratically elected party of the people. Finally, in 1933, Hitler became the proud chancellor of Germany and immediately established the fundamentals for a strong dictatorship. Checks and balances were laughed away. Hitler's word was now law. Literally, Hitler exploited a loophole in the Constitution to steal the authority to pass laws from Parliament. With that done, all political parties other than the Nazi Party were outlawed and dismissed. Hitler then announced that Germany was not paying any more bullshit reparations, even rearming Rhineland as a blatant fuck you to the cruel world that so wronged the German people. The German public absolutely loved him. They had 10 years of useless politicians that only made life difficult. But Hitler and his balls on the table policies gave him the dignity that they so desperately wanted. Hitler was applauded as a hero that would save the Germanic people. With overwhelming support from the public and politicians alike in 1934, Hitler combined the roles of Chancellor and President to rise up as the leader of all Germans, the glorious Führer. This is the birth of a terrifying nation, a nation with all its power concentrated in one particularly fucked up man. Unfortunately for humanity, Hitler was a troubled man. He dreamed of being a painter as a child, but instead settled for painting the fate of Germany in his own image. Germany, however, was too small of a canvas to contain his aspirations. The German people, already whipped up in a frenzy, were more than happy to go along with Hitler's terrifying delusions. This is the beginning of man's worst nightmare. This is the beginning of World War II. Stay tuned for the next episode in our new World War II series.